right, here we are. Peace. Yeah, we live. So, what I'm gonna be doing right now, if you have questions, of course, you can type them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just be going to some of the previous videos. There was some things I wanted to address, and pull some stuff up here. Gonna pull some stuff up on the screen so that I can, so that you can see the questions and stuff that I'm addressing. But also, if you have questions in the chat, just type them in there. I see people live on Instagram watching. If you're on Instagram, feel free to just comment on the video. I should be able to see your comments right here live. Um, Looks like I'm seeing comments from all destinations. So yeah, you can comment wherever you're at, wherever you're watching us. If you're not watching it live, just comment on the video, and I'll get back to it in our next Moorish Q and A. All right. So those are the rules for today, and going in right now. I'll pull something up for you on this screen. Yep. It's up. Yeah. So I see some more people in here. So just in case you just came in, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat. I'm going to some of our previous videos. I'm going to share what I'm looking at on the screen so you can see. And I'm just going to the comment section, addressing some of the comments that's made because I think these just in general just apply to all of us. So it'll be great information for each and every one of us. And so one of the things that I want to do as we get things started is just asking everybody click the like and share button. If you appreciate the content on here at all, hit like and share. That's it. Not even asking you to send any money or anything. If you want to, though, of course, you can always cash out $ Moors in America. If you want to send a donation or super chat, anything like that, you can always do that. But we're gonna get it going regardless. So here we're in here, as I said before, just comment in the chat. Yeah, in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know, TikTok, wherever you're watching this at, it's coming. Okay, I see the big Lebowski said, "Do you know the definition of Moorish?" Moorish? Nah, that's my first time hearing that. Maureen, Mooring. Yeah, that's kind of like when you anchor your ship somewhere. But Moorage, Moorage. Never heard that. All right. If you want to share the definition and speak on it, though, feel free to type that, and I'll come right back to you. But I'm about to pull up this particular video that you see on the screen. Actually, you're gonna go to, if you are on the Moors in America channel, if you go there on YouTube, go to live, go down to our previous interview with the Supreme Grand Sheik. You see him on here, Supreme Grand Sheik Kenu Bay. Make sure to click on that and check that video out. So what I'm gonna do right now is I am gonna go to newest comments. I wanted you to see the comments and also see the reply. Why? Because these are things that every Moorish American should know, not just because I said so. Hang on, what's going on? Okay, here we go. Okay, okay, so this is the exact comment I wanted to go to. Now I'm gonna cover this, and I just want to make sure that everybody's paying attention. Before I address this comment, though, I want to ask everybody that's here, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever platform you're watching it on, hit like and share. Before I address this comment, though, I see the Big Lefowski. He said moorage means the place or method by which a boat or vessel is secured so it stays in one spot in the water. Same definition as mooring. Mooring. Pretty much means sounds like that means the same thing. It has a physical meaning, and then also you can say a metaphysical meaning. You're talking about mooring, anchoring yourself. All right, but let's go forward to this video. So once again, all peace. What's up, my man? ROD out the M. Peace. Good. What's up with you? Hey, if you have any questions or comments, man, feel free to type them in here. We can address it too. Navigator, I see you. Wondering messenger. Peace. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this one more time for people who just joined, just came in here. This is just Q&A, answering questions from the chat. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. If you have any questions, of course, you can type them in here live, and I'll get to it. Also, I'm going to a couple previous videos and just going through the comments on there to address them to bring some clarity, to just to bring clarity across the board so that there's understanding. So, yeah, if you have a question or comment, just type it in the chat. Also, I would ask if you appreciate this channel, hit like and share. Hit like and share, help to spread the information. We're going to bring light. We're going to cut on the lights. We're going to bring attention and clarity to some issues and things that I think are important. So I was advising everybody, if you get a chance to go back to this interview with the Supreme Grand Sheik Ken Bay, that's on the Moors in America channel on YouTube. Make sure you go and check that out. Uh, I was trying to show you that. Yeah, that's what it looks like. If you're on the channel, make sure you go and watch that. We just did that 3 weeks ago. Pretty good views. But we need to get those views up. So coming back here, just wanted to go to this comment from the Royal District 57. It said every time the Supreme Grand Sheik gets on here, he has something of substance to say. Good, positive comment. Appreciate it. Fundamentals, the foundation we stand on. Let's build on together on a square. Great comment. Then we had somebody else that commented under that saying, how does what he was teaching translate into me? And I wanted to say this because a lot of people think like this. Now, maybe not everybody out there, but a lot of people think like this. So please listen to this, and we're going to go ahead and move things on. We're going to address this. I want to make clarity out of this, and just asking everybody who's here, hit like and share. Want to have clarity. Oh, man, I just lost that page, man. I might have lost the Instagram feed. Did we lose the Instagram live? We're still live on Instagram. Pardon this, Morris. It's my first time doing all, like, it's sending it to like 4 or 5 different places at once. So that's my first time doing that. Still live. I don't know. Gotta keep this going. It's hard not to close that window out, man. All right, all right. Let's see. Yeah, that must not be it. I don't see any comments. Okay, so uh, hopefully that Instagram is still up. Let's get back to this comment in particular. Everybody hit like and share. So the comment that I wanted to focus on, Zosera Neraket L. How does what he was teaching translate into me exercising my nationality and birthrights, inheriting my estate, protecting that estate, and not have my inalienable rights protected by Constitution and treaty, violated by internum foreign de facto colonial corporate operatives operating statutes, codes, and municipal ordinances in violation of the supreme law of the land. And it doesn't take a grand sheet to repeat what the Prophet, Honorable Noble Drew Ali, already said and documented to be factual and true. You're supposed to take what he said and build on it to the extent our Constitution is enforced as the law of the land. Anything else is superposed conjecture and programming. And he goes, I just said before I put any time and effort into this response, please answer one simple question, yes or no question. Are you successful in life? The reason I say that is because using all these words, all this verbiage, all this stuff that just being real, you may have a deep understanding of it, you might not. And it's like before we go into all this, man, are you successful? Am I talking to a bum? Are you living on somebody's couch? Are you independent? That absolutely I'm uplifting the fallen through my works. All Moors who hold titles are to produce works in accordance with Act 1. You acting like you're not even, in the temple and following the laws of the prophet. So I don't know why you quoting that one, but okay. Just sitting an attack on that person is just seen this before. We want to address this. So what's wrong with what he's teaching? In the video, the Supreme Grand Sheikh Ken Kumar Bey was speaking about uplifting, right? Working to clean yourself up, clean up your own behavior, working together in unity to strengthen our own communities and nations. So I said, are you only here to argue? What was wrong with anything discussed? I don't have any problems with Honorable Noble Drali's teachings. My issue is applying more science in a manner which translates into our government functioning independent of the United States corporation companies, and that our de jure consular court jurisdiction and authority is enforced according to with the supremacy clause. So this is what I wanted to address. All right, this statement and it's questioning. Because people always want to know, like, well, that's it. You just joined the temple now. You join. You work together. You follow the instructions to work together to build up your community, uplift yourselves, uplift your community, and eventually your nation. But what it's really going at is getting to the issue. Because people always, well, that's it, because they think there's some magical paperwork or something you're supposed to file for yourself. It's going to fix things for you. So this is the answer, and I wanted to share this, speak on this, why this was said this way, and blow that up a little bit. Take that up off the screen real quick. Back to that a little later. Let's see. So what we're gonna do? If you have questions, you can type them in the chat, and we can come to them and answer them. But I'm going through other videos and going through the comments right now. So if you have questions or comments in particular, of course we can address those. But we'll need you to type it in the chat. Slow that up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to explain why these things are worded like this, and also explain what's really going on. 'Cause I don't think everybody understands what's really going on. But we're going to make it plain and clear. Hopefully, ideally. So, so just as a reminder, this question this person was asking, their question was very long and drawn out, but they're asking like, they didn't appreciate the video. That sound like because it's talk about cleaning yourself up, doing a better job, actually working to be a better person, living according to Islam, living off of higher principles, and working together to empower ourselves financially as well as spiritually, working on ourselves, but also building up the infrastructure, things that we need. And so the answer to that question was, what's the rush to create this government that's independent of the USA when there is no infrastructure, no Moorish owned and ran infrastructure to support it. This is really important because people aren't being realistic about this. They want to be independent of the USA. For what? We're going to cover that. In other words, we do not really have Moorish farms, enterprises. We can just hire our own people, our own children, our own grandchildren, whatever. We don't have that. No industry. And don't even have the discipline, let alone a Moorish army to secure what people are claiming that we have. You have people that's pretending, acting like there's some type of sovereign nation. We don't have any of that. This is important to say because nobody's saying this, man, and this is like common sense. Someone else can cut off our lights. Someone else can just cut off our lights, just like that. They can poison our water, which they've actually been doing for decades. They've been putting fluoride in the water. They tell us, "Oh, it's good for you." Now, more people are starting to complain about the fluoride in the water. Like, "Oh no, it's not good for you." Putting atrazine in the water. Atrazine, has been found by different scientists to have adverse effects where it should at least be studied more. They know that it turns vertebrates like frogs, it changes their gender and it makes them confused mentally, and it even changes Islam. I heard about that, brother. Memphis, they have some of the best water in the nation, maybe even in the world. But going back to that atrazine, they know there was a scientist, Tyrone. Don't know his last name, but he was out there at University of Cal State, one of the major universities. And this dude's a real scientist, and he's running experiments on less than the amount that's allowed to be in the water. The atrazine was turning the frogs gay and even changing their gender. All right, that's creepy. That's scary. So they've been poisoning the water, but these people want to act like they got their own nation. Somebody else is putting stuff in your water, and ain't nothing you can do about it. But you're wondering what paperwork do we do when we get there. You ain't even thinking about the water. That means the fluoride is working on you. Because drinking that fluoride water, your eyes be all glazed over. You ain't even thinking about rising up, doing anything for yourself. You ain't trying to grow your own food, nothing. So someone else can cut off our food supply, right? They can say, how they did experiments during, they don't call these experiments, but during COVID, it'd be like, oh, there's no toilet paper. You go to the store, all the shelves empty for toilet paper. It'll just be random things, no peanut butter. Just see how the people gonna act. Right? Some people was acting stupid about it. It was times where they'd be like, you can only get 2 rolls of toilet paper at the most. Right? It's crazy. So those same people that control all these warehouses, y'all ain't even thinking on this level. The people who saying it's foolishness. The rest of you, y'all cool, you get it. But these people who's making these claims, they ain't even thinking like that. These people own the warehouses. They got all these trucks that's out here delivering this food. They got the food supply chain under their control. You don't have a nation. This is your nation, and you don't control this nation. All right, so this stuff these people are claiming, that's not a nation. It should be out here loudly proclaiming their independence. We the Moorish nation. No, hell no. We up under somebody else. Got their foot on the back of our neck, just like they do on everyone else's neck. Okay, it's Moors that's living in the projects on government assistance. Getting food stamps on Section 8. Talking about you independent and sovereign. Like, come on. Going back to what the brother was saying about the water, though, Memphis, the water was like some of the highest quality water in the country, maybe world. You know what I'm saying? Because of the aquifer they said was under is under Memphis, and just they're saying it's some of the cleanest and best tasting water in the world. You know, when I first moved to Memphis at like 19 years old, I was a child, but still the water didn't stink back then. You know, 1990, 1989, water didn't stink. It didn't smell bad. It didn't taste bad. And they there with all those with all the stuff they doing there that the people don't really agree with. Like they got the centers there, the data centers and things, and we don't know what kind of pollution it's doing. You know, so all types of stuff that's going underground. Why, if you know there's this big, huge source of clean water, clean, pure water, why would you do stuff? It's gonna, it's gonna poison it. They don't care about the people, so they taking some of the cleanest water in the world and just destroying it. Like people wouldn't even know that if you don't live there. You wouldn't even know they have the cleanest water. So and even though our people, the majority of the people in Memphis, we, I guess we had no say in it. Ain't nothing we could do about it. So it better not be nobody in Memphis talking that foolishness, acting like we sovereign, we under control. It's like, dude, we don't even have our neighborhood under control. We can't even stop them from poisoning our water. Come on, let's cut out the madness. This is madness. Talking like this, it goes against the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He never said we're not citizens. He didn't say any of that foolishness. Our Prophet was extremely realistic. He was not living in the fantasy land. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. No fantasy, mysterious craziness, right? Not pretending that we already in power and got everything under control. Nah, it wasn't like that at all. So I understand that a lot of people don't know what it's really about. We could talk about what it's really about in brief, but I'm just being real about the situation. I think a lot, I mean a lot of people have to be educated on this. And when I say a lot, I mean like people who are supposed to be grand sheiks and grand governors, people who's supposed to know better. They have to be educated on this because they're out here acting like they got it and they don't even know. And all they can do now is lead other people astray because they don't even know what time it is. You know, and so that definitely has to be addressed and taken seriously because if the people who are supposed to know better don't know, then all they can do is lead people astray. That's why we're here. That's why I'm talking about this right now, and that's why I'm asking you more is to hit like and share. We have to share this because it's insanity out here, and people all they can do by spreading the ignorance is um, slow down our actual progress, and eventually people gonna start getting hurt if they getting in over their head. So moving forward, I mean, it's more they have substance abuse issues, and they're not even being real about it. Because if you gotta smoke weed every day, you're an addict. It's like if you smoking, you going through a pack of cigarettes every day. That's an addict. And somebody that's gotta have a pack of cigarettes a day, or two packs of cigarettes a day, or however much you smoking. That's not somebody who's equipped for survival. That's not somebody who could survive some Armageddon type situation. That's somebody who can't even survive if the store is shut down for 3 months. Just 3 months. The prophet said keep a 90-day food supply. If the stores are shut down for 3 months and you're addicted to weed, cigarettes, alcohol, or all the above, and then now people are abusing pills too, you know. If that shut down, you're in trouble because now you got to go through withdrawal. Now you're gonna be going crazy, ready to rob and kill for this stuff. Even if you ain't built like that. And see, it's not like there's some secret Moorish farms that's growing all the weed and the cigarette and the wheat and making the alcohol and all this stuff. It's like, no, We don't even produce these items for ourselves, so we wouldn't even be able to sustain, getting cut off, going through the withdrawal. Your Romans could force you to go through withdrawal. And so the people don't even realize they're addicts. They don't even see themselves like that because the society wants to make you think it's cool. It's cool to have to smoke weed all the time. You know, Nate Dogg said smoke weed every day. You think it's cool, so you got to think about that. But nah, people will be going crazy on each other, on their own children, their own family, just by the store shutting down. Not even permanent, just by them being closed for a couple months. But don't nobody want to be realistic about that. And I get it. People want to pretend this stuff ain't real. All we need to do is blah, 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 consular courts, and assert our jurisdiction, and everything magically just works out for us just fine. That's what this dude was saying. That's why I'm saying that stuff. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated over and over again that we are citizens of the United States of America. He painstakingly, meaning he went through the difficult part. Dealing with his own people was the most difficult part. To build the structure that allowed us to rebuild our communities, get our households in order, and resurrect our nation. So this is our nation, starting off with United States of America. If that's a problem for you, you're at the wrong place. I'm going to show the numerous quotes from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's proclamations that show this. I'm not making this up. We're going to show this, and before I do that, I'm going to go back to that comment. I'm responding to these comments that was made on the YouTube video. Now, if you have some other questions and stuff you want to address, feel free to do it. But just know that we don't live in fantasy land over here, and we're not gonna lie because such and such said this and that. We stick it to the prophet. Won't care what anybody said. This dude said he don't have a problem with Honorable Noble Drew Ali's teachings, but he said his issue is applying more science in a manner which translate into our government functioning independent of the United States Corporation, and that our de jure consular court jurisdiction and authority is enforced in accordance with supremacy clause. Like, what does that have to do with it? Right? The other stuff that was just said, those are facts. All right. Because, keeping it real, if you're going to have a nation, even if we're not supposed to be smoking and drinking and getting high and doing all this stuff, if you have a nation, you have to take all that into account. We have X million people that are addicted to this. We got to produce this for ourselves so that, when these stores do shut down, if they do cut off the power or EMP goes off or something, we got to be able to provide it. Even if we're trying to help wean people off of their addictions. You're not trying to do that stuff, which means you're not even trying to build a nation. You're not even trying to be realistic and deal with all the issues. There's nothing. Nobody's thinking on that level. So let's get away from the fantasy land craziness, foolishness. I hope the people that's making these comments are actually watching this video. Whether they are or not, though, we're going to address it. And I want to share some actual quotes from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, just so that you can see none of this stuff is being made up. None of the stuff that I'm saying. All right. So for us as Moorish Muslims, what I'm about to share is law for us. Because the divine prophet of Allah is where we get this from, right? So it's not made up. It's not just, hey, I'm telling y'all this because I think so. Nah, these are divine laws for us, regardless of what any of y'all saying online. What you saying online means nothing, right? So that's why we're doing this. We're going to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So here is what we're doing today. We're going to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, seeing how what these people are saying online lines up with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what really matters. Because if what they're saying doesn't line up, I mean, in the past it would have been like, if what they saying, right? But now they want to clean it up and be a little bit better, a little, more professional. So I'm gonna say, We stick with the Prophet Ali regardless. We're not concerned with what the thoughtless think, what they're saying. We don't care about that stuff. We're not trying to keep up with trends and all this other mess, this other foolishness. Looks like I gotta read. Heck, Instagram, nope, they ain't gonna let it go. It's still going. We still live on Instagram because if we are, I can't even see it. Can't even see it, y'all. I'm just gonna assume we still on there. If y'all are commenting on there, I apologize. I can't see it, but we'll come back to that later. Right. So get back over here to the prophet's proclamations. Now people can say whatever they want. There's some people that are like publicly that are saying things that they shouldn't be saying. I'm not gonna address them per se, like by name, but I am gonna address the things that they're saying because they're making all these statements and saying stuff that goes against the prophet. And some of these people have positions that they should not have. They should have never had. We're gonna address that stuff because we're not scared. We're gonna stick with Prophet Noble Drew Ali no matter what. And if people don't want to do that, that's fine. But just do you. Don't try to act like you're doing the prophet's will or you're following some divine instruction. You're just doing you. And there's nothing wrong with you just doing you. Just keep it real. That's all I ask. You're gonna just do you, just do you. Keep it real. People coming in trying to mix what they want to do and with acting like they're doing what the prophet brought, and they not doing that at all. And that's a problem, right? So coming back up here, I'm not gonna repeat all the stuff I was saying, but we pretty much we just keep it real. Just a quick rundown. The people's in a rush to create this government that's independent of the U.S. When we gonna do that? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what people ain't dealing with, though. I will tell you that. It's like we don't have the farms, we don't have the enterprises, we don't have the industry, we don't even have the discipline, and we definitely don't have the Moorish army to secure what the people claim that we have. We got this nation. Someone else can cut off the lights. They poison the water. They've been doing it for decades. This ain't nothing new. Fluoride ain't supposed to be in the water. It doesn't come in the water. Why are you putting it in there? We're gonna clean it up for you. They're gonna clean up your brain. Clean it. They're gonna clean your brain out while they do that. Come about they doing something good for you. And they can cut off the food supply chain, all that stuff. The whole supply chain is owned by these people. Remember during COVID, they were showing how the shipping containers were just piling up over there in Florida. I mean, California. The shipping containers were just piling up. Why? Because they wasn't letting them come through. All right, they don't care how many people's gonna suffer because of that. They're just doing it. All right, and people playing around with this stuff, acting like that ain't the case. We good over here. We don't need it. We independent. So y'all all loudly proclaiming your independence. Some of these people saying this stuff, they live in the projects, they own Section 8, they getting food stamps, EPC, and but they talking about their independent. They sovereign. They're not. They're not. Okay, so they not fooling me. They might be fooling some of these people because they don't know better. Like some of these real sovereign citizens out here, these Europeans that's striking out against the government. We not anti-government. They are anti-government, and they have militias, and they looking, they see, hear some of the stuff you're saying. They don't know that y'all just talking trash. Prophet wasn't like y'all. He was realistic. He didn't live in fantasy land at all. If he's saying we're gonna do this, we're doing it for real, right? Ones ain't being real at all. They got substance abuse problems. That's a problem. But y'all blah 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 blah. Council of courts. Insert our jurisdiction. Y'all saying all this stuff. Y'all even know what you're saying. So going through Ali stated over and over the States of America. He used United States of America, America, United States, US, USA. He used all those terms interchangeably. He did, and I can show you proof of that. And when he used it, he was speaking about the United States of America every time. He wasn't causing confusion. He warned Moors not to be out here causing confusion. So we know what the prophet meant when he said America or when he said United States of America. He even made it clear that we are, it's not just us over here. So some of you that want to act like we're the only ones, we're the true Americans, any of that stuff, it's like, come on. All right, Islam. So I'm going to get to that. Maybe the answer will come to you just through what I'm going to go through when I go through the prophet's words. But if not, I could address that just directly. But I'm going to go through the prophet's words, and because I think, like, at the end of the day, it's people, even some who shouldn't be in leadership positions, but they are somehow, and they don't even know what the prophet brought. And if they were honest, they would be like, "More, how are we supposed to do this? Because I don't understand. Because you've been misled. You've been listening to all these different people online, and you're out here spreading lies and actually going against the prophet with everything that you say." I'm not talking about the brother that I'm sharing the comment. I'm talking about these people who are spreading lies, falsehoods. Whether they know it or not, they're demons. Now, the people who know better and they choose to go against the prophet, they want to act like they're true Moorish American Muslims, they're straight up demons. But then we have people who just don't know any better. And maybe their ego won't allow them to humble themselves to actually go through, study the prophet, and see how their stuff that they push contradicts what the prophet brought. You're wrong. Your way you want and your way you will have. All right. But it doesn't line up with the truth. It's falsehood. So this is what we're going to. And I already know what these types of people are gonna say, but falsehood. See this bro, he just talking like the church talk. That's how they talk in the temple. It's like, brother, y'all don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all are out here leading people straight to hell. Hell is not some mystical place that you go to when you die. Living in hell right now, if your life, if you're going through hardship and things are difficult, and especially if you don't see it getting any better, that's hell. We're just being very practical here, okay? Very practical. But yeah, like, so I was just waiting before I go into the words of the prophets. I'm getting the words from some of these Moors who are out here lying on the prophet and spreading falsehood. Okay, all right. So we want to share some of this stuff. Once again, it's not about the names and who these people are. I just want to address the actual issues and to keep it all the way real. We gonna stick with the prophet. I don't care what you're saying. I don't care where you got it from. It's garbage because it ain't the prophet. If it ain't what the prophet brought, it's garbage. So yeah, we got people who saying stuff they're not debating with grand sheiks and temple leaders. Still think that Moors are U.S. citizens when nationality and citizenship are not the same thing. Okay, so all this stuff ain't important, but I just want to get to this because there's a lot of people saying this stuff. You're saying over and over again that we're not citizens when the prophet made it plain and clear who and what we are. Okay, and they're saying this for what? To promote their own concepts, their own ideas, or maybe the concepts and ideas they got from whoever they listening to, whoever they've been studying from and learning from. And all that stuff is wrong, but we're gonna show why it's wrong. Okay. And so if you're saying it's time for the new Moors to come in and seat the old Moors in the back, but you're not with the prophet, you're not what you think you are. You're actually the ones that's spreading confusion. People were spreading confusion back in the prophet's time, and you're spreading it no different than the people who was actually against the prophet back then. All right, this is going on right here and now, but we're gonna address it. We're gonna do our best to make things plain and clear. So yeah, people who are unknowingly spreading falsehood, at least they don't know better. And if they're not stuck in their ego, maybe they can humble themselves and actually study the prophet to learn what it truly is about. And maybe they'll get right and stop spreading falsehood. Because to truly follow the prophet takes discipline. You have to be disciplined and serious. You have to be able to understand that, hey, it might take some time and work to make this happen. This ain't no magical, oh, I filed the paperwork, everything is all right. All this stuff is real. This is taken care of because I filed some paperwork. You know, I could still be addicted to drugs and stuff. I just filed paperwork. We don't have to have our own food supply. We don't have to, have our own water and stuff that people can't poison and be able to have our own electrical grid that we control fully. We don't need all that because I filed this paperwork. It's like, come on, man, that's some foolish talk. Why are people even doing that, man? But I get it. You could be under a spell. So unknowingly, it is almost worse, but it's better than the ones who know better and still push this mess. The ones that know better, they're pushing it because they're selling stuff to you. They're charging more as five, six, $700, $2,000 or more for some bogus paperwork. They're getting over on you, and that's why they're spreading these lies and falsehoods because they are literally demons, demons in the flesh. They go against the prophet. And y'all hear them if you hear it and you get suckered in, believing that we have some make believe land that we control over here, or you ain't even thinking that deep about it. You just want it to be true. So you listening to them, you're gonna get taken. They're gonna take advantage of it because you're a sucker. You're being a sucker. Like common sense tells you that they ain't speaking the truth. You know. I see a specific question about USAR specifically. I'm not talking about any one or two or three or four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. It's a lot of them. I'm not talking about any one person in particular. I'm not gonna do that today or tomorrow. I'm not focusing on any one unit or group. But I will say this: the stuff that we're gonna read off from the prophet, if what they're doing, regardless of who they are, I don't care if they're in the temple, I don't care if they're in USA, I don't care if they're in, the Moorish government, I don't care where they're claiming they're at. If they don't line up with the prophet, they're wrong. They're either knowingly demons, because they're selling you some bogus, mess, or they just they don't need to be trying to lead anybody anywhere. They like the Pied Piper. They're fools, and they trying to lead you too. So just going back to these words up here, not debating with grand sheiks and temple leaders who still think Moors are U.S. citizens. Nationality and citizenship are not the same thing. Wow. I'm not debating with anyone telling Moors they must remain U.S. citizens when nationality is the foundation of political power. So maybe, well, we're going to go to the words of the prophet. And even though the prophet speaks directly about citizenship, we're going to go to it because this person's, pushing this stuff and is saying this, but they're going directly against the prophet. All right. So look at this. This organization is playing a useful and definite part in advancing the sacred obligations of American citizenship. Indications are that this convention will be one of the most interesting ever held in the city. So just this is from the prophet Noble Drew Ali. The title of this publication was put out by the prophet Noble Drew Ali is Moorish Head Makes Plan for Conclave. I believe this was published in the Moorish Guide in 1928. Right when the first first convention was going to take place. All right, and when he's saying this organization, he's talking about the Moorish Temple of America. This organization is playing a useful and definite part in advancing the sacred obligations of American citizenship. Now, this is from the prophet. Now, that's just one example. We got several more, but I'll tell you why he was saying that. Because this organization is about teaching us what it actually means to be a citizen. Also, getting us involved civically with the sacred obligations of American citizenship. Some of those obligations are things that these foolish Moors will be out here telling you that we don't do, like vote, knowing that the prophet pushed voting and was putting Moors, in the positions of power by setting up voting blocks and making it where Moors were not only getting people in office, but leveraging that power, that ability to put people in positions in order to get things that the Moors needed for their communities, for their better of their society. All right, it's negotiating. You just gotta play at the table so that you can get what you need. Now, this is another uh, another proclamation that was definitely from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and that's to all governors, grand sheikhs, and head officials of all temples, as letter one. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali has said the following thing during this our very first convention. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that the Moorish Temple of America was organized to play a useful and defined part in the advancement of the sacred obligation of American citizenship. As the Moorish Divine National Movement was founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states of North America on May 1st, 1916. So even for those that's trying to, say it's the Moorish government or we the Moroccan, whatever, these people got all these different names. They told you the name right there was the Asiatic states of North America. This will have been our very first convention and most interesting one ever held in the city. Um, you can read this whole entire thing yourself. For those who've never even seen this stuff, what are you doing? If you're Moorish American, you should have all this information, understanding. I'm bringing that right back up on the screen. But before I do that, I'm going to just share with you where you can get that stuff. You can get it right here from our temple. And you can probably get it from any temple. But I'm going to just share ours because I know we have it. We published it. We produced it. So we can send it out to you. And I know we will actually send it out. Some of these folks selling that bogus paperwork, it's going to take you 10 years to get it. You order your Moorish literature, which is where these publications I'm sharing come from, we're going to send it out to you right there. You can also get the Holy Quran and the Quran Questionnaire. It's all in one book. Got it all in one book. Everything's in it. The whole Our Authority was, all that stuff is in there. You get that in the Holy Quran. And then we'll ship that out to you and also get that Moorish literature. Go to MoorishAmericans.com. Links in the description. Get that out to you. I advise everyone to get this. If you don't have it, you should have it. There's no reason not to have it. If you don't have it, you're doing yourself a disservice. And then also, this is another reason why people getting taken advantage of because you don't have this stuff. And you listening to these people like that quote that I had up here. That's actually a quote from a Moor that's supposed to be in leadership and leading people astray, talking about we're not citizens. That goes against the prophet. These are the sacred obligation of American citizenship. And watch these people say, I know, look, the prophet said American, he said United States of America, he said United States, and he said it all interchangeably. You're going to try to tell me how the U.S. secret cabal uses U.S. and USA to mean different things when they're trying to get over on people. The prophet wasn't doing that. If the prophet Noble Drew Ali is using U.S., USA, United States of America, and American, all to mean the same thing. Like this verse up here, it says United States of America. Down here, pardon. Let me go back. I'll get to that later. Down there, it says that, but then up here, it just says American citizenship, right? American citizenship. But then also it says United States of America. We're gonna get to that though. So the prophet's using it interchangeably. Don't try to put that mess in there. Don't try to take one quote out of context and act like he only said American. No, he said United States of America too, and he wasn't trying to cause confusion. Y'all trying to cause confusion because you're trying to misconstrue things to fit into the box of deception that you have. Right? You have a trick bag that you selling people this bogus paperwork and overcharging. And this is all stuff that they could download online for free. They just don't know. They could download that all that bogus paperwork themselves for free. So you ain't even putting in no work. You selling them some stuff they don't even need that you downloaded for free. And you spreading falsehood. And the ones I'm telling you, they're not unknowingly. Y'all know better. So moving forward, we're just gonna keep it moving. And Prophet Drew Ali speaks to the nations. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can, and that is by the Moorish Divine National Movement. Remember, this is from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's by the Prophet. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by what? By this nation as an American citizen. This is what was meant when it said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you." The Prophet Noble Drew Ali was bringing us into the constitutional fold with everyone else. You can't just be some refugee here with no nation. You have to have a nation in order to be an American citizen. Even coming in here, you can't just be coming in here from Pluto. I don't know where I'm from. I don't know my name. I don't know nothing. He's like, where are you actually from? Who are you for real? Where are you? You're Australian. Where are you? Where are you here from? Are you from? Are you an enemy combatant? Like what? Like this is what the prophet said. And he's like, look, you must declare who you actually are. Now, before that, we were just going by names and marks that were created to keep us in a perpetual second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth class citizen status. But it's like now you're on the same footing with everyone else. You have an origin, you know who you are. You must have a free national name. You must have if you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. Okay. But I know what their deceptive techniques will be, so we're going to cover that. They're going to try to deceive you by saying that's why he probably said American citizen. He didn't say United States of America. But he did. He did. He a liar. So a divine warning by the prophet for the nations, which every Moor should have heard, but many of you never heard this because you're not in the temple. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. So the prophet's not saying, oh, in order for you to take over this and get your land back, just to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. And he's like, they place their trust upon issuing names formed by their forefathers, depending on who you actually are, where you come from, what your intent is. That's how you'll be treated in this nation. That's how much trust will be placed upon you. Right? So the prophet's saying you can't even be a real citizen of this government or any government. Because remember before he said this nation as an American citizen. But then he said even just to be a citizen of any government, you have to claim your national descent name. Where do you descend from? What line? What are you? Right. Moving on. That's from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, by the way. That's not the words of Brother Douglas Hill. Going to Moorish Leaders Historical Message to America. All this stuff's in the Moorish literature. You can go to moorishamericans.com to get yours. Once again, we're sticking to quotes from Prophet Noble Drew Ali because I don't care what such and such said. I don't care what this dude said. I don't care. I'm not going to any of your quotes. You are all lower self. You are falsehood. You are devil, dragon, demon, and beast. You're Satan, devil, dragon, demon, beast. All right. I'm adding demon in there, but you know what you are. Not going to your quotes. Why would anybody go to your quotes? So going to the Moorish leaders' historical message to America, it says the object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. Now, these Moors will try to pretend and act like, oh, he's talking about to be citizens in the Moorish nation. They don't even know what the Moorish nation is. Our Moorish nation's in disarray. They don't even know the name of it because they hate the prophet. Now, some of these people will try to claim this. They heard it here first. They don't even know where this came from now. Even though I'm highlighting everything, they still don't know. They're devils. They hate the prophet. They see what he's saying about citizenship and they hate it because that means work. That means no fantasy paperwork is going to make your life better. So they hate the prophet. Now, he keeps saying the first time you've heard that the object of the organization is to help, right? To make us better citizens. Teach those things necessary. These more is teaching against the things necessary to make our members better citizens. Oh, we don't vote. We won't participate in that. We won't need that. We've been not voting long before most of us ever even knew anything about being a Moor. And we've been disenfranchised and messed up, getting taken advantage of. When's the last time did these people actually follow the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's instructions to a T? Even the stuff that you don't like. Because like what I'm about to read, what he says about the Constitution. And he's not talking about the divine Constitution and bylaws. These Moors are supposed to know better, man. This is sad. This is pitiful. This is teaching some of these people that's going to learn and hear this for the first time. They're like, they're grand governors, they're grand sheiks. They're supposed to know better. They presidents, they're sultans, they're grand viziers, and all this other stuff. Wazar, all this other man, titles of grandeur they're giving themselves, and they don't know nothing, man. And it's not me saying this to be negative. This is an ego. It is a little frustrating in dealing with people that refuse to do what's right, but it's just getting back to it. This requires work, dedication, and you have to have the foresight to see something through to the end. Some of these more so lame and weak, they gonna give up because it ain't some quick fix. I ain't even saying it's gonna take a long time. People will stop playing games with the prophet. Y'all playing games with the prophet. If you talking about we're not citizens, when you see, I can stop right here. That's enough. What the prophet said about us being citizens, but it goes on and on and on. This ain't even everything. We haven't gotten all the way through yet, and this isn't even everything. You good Moors here, y'all know better. I see some of you in here. I see some of the good Moors in here that's liking, loving, sharing this. They know better. And they teach this because they stick to the prophet. They practice this. They show this by their works and deeds. But the loudest ones are the demons who are against the prophet. You hate the prophet. You hate these words. These words are from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is Moorish Leader's historical message to America. So if you out here claiming to be some type of Moorish leader and you talking about we're not citizens, any Moors telling to remain citizens, is you're the demon. And anybody like you, any who talks like that, why are you against Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Why do you hate the prophet? Why do you hate the prophet and claim the prophet? Do you? Just do you. Have some dignity. Just do you. Stand on your own. The prophet said return to the state where he found you. I'm saying just do you. Yeah, fine, you want to cosplay like us, but just do you. Leave the prophet's name out of it. Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Koran, we have it as the revealed word of God Allah. We shall foster the principles of his teachings among our members, and many who don't even and never even picked up a Quran or a Koran of Mecca, as many Moors refer to it as. Right? Definitely not trying to live in any type of Islamic fashion either, because you're smoking weed and getting high probably every day. I mean, I can even see you just doing it every once in a while. Moors is addicts. That's a problem. This is our religious privilege as American citizens. Under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution, you hate that. The prophet said that the American Constitution is one of the greatest documents of all time. Right? This is our religious privilege as American citizens. Once again, as American citizens. What are they saying? This ain't focusing on one person or people, because it's a lot of more saying this foolishness. These are people who claim to be Moorish leaders telling people that we not supposed to be U.S. citizens. They not debating with grand sheiks and temple leaders. It's like it's them temple Moors telling the Moors that they U.S. citizens. That's not what the prophet said. What the prophet made it clear where we are, and y'all made it clear where y'all are. Y'all hate the prophet. This needs to be known across the board. That's why Moors in America is not going to roll with any of you fake devil, demon, despicable, dirty. You know, I'm not just going to say dirty Moors. Y'all are demons. You're demons. You hate the prophet, but you're claiming him, but you hate him, and it shows with every action that you take. Okay? So you're against being U.S. citizens, and you're telling Moors we're not U.S. citizens. The prophet makes it clearly plain. And I know you're going to say, he said American citizens. Don't worry, he also said citizens of the United States of America. He used all that stuff interchangeably. So we're going to move on. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, well, this is the words of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is to be proclaimed at every meeting. Okay. Islam, I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all. You devils trying to act like we not citizens, you demons, you dirtbag demons, you're not the few faithful Moors. Because y'all against the prophet. Y'all hate the prophet. The prophet desired for us to know the truth. You desire to spread lies to enrich yourself. You know you charging hundreds and thousands of dollars for this bogus paperwork that's only taking people's money and making them leave thinking this is a joke and unreal. Once they realize that none of the stuff you're selling works. Right? You desire for the people to know lies. The prophet desires for them to know the truth and the divine truth. You're against the divine truth. You don't think the prophet's way works. You're like, ain't no way it could work with us being citizens. I don't know what that prophet talking about. That's what y'all Moors thinking, man. Y'all are despicable. Dirtbags, man. Just evil. Wicked. Just wicked. Y'all so wicked. Your breath stank. You're so wicked that you can't even talk because your breath stank. Every time you even open your mouth, somebody's dying. Somebody passing out somewhere. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement. Now by the same people of our side that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. These people of our side of the nation that claim the prophets are a joke and unreal, they're not going to say that out their mouth. They show it with the lies that they push. Acting like the prophet didn't do everything that I'm showing you. He said we are citizens. Okay? American citizens. But they claiming the prophet was a joke and unreal. And they're claiming to be on our side. Okay, so this is still going on. The prophet wasn't just talking about 1928. He's talking about these people who were not even born yet, who are here now, causing confusion. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation, there it is again, these words that they hate as American citizens. So no matter how much they hated, the prophet said this over and over again. But they're working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. So Morris, you have to be on your toes. These people are, even now, especially now, they're working every scheme that they can to disqualify the prophet so that they may take charge of the situation. They see what's going on with all this mess, this foolishness with ICE coming and getting up all, scooping up all the illegal immigrants and stuff, and they're not shipping everybody back to their home country. That's the thing that you don't know about, and you won't know about until it's too late after they done already xed out thousands of people, or maybe what are words they say you're supposed to say so you don't get banned. You can't say that they um, killed them, right? You got to say that they put them to sleep. Oh, what they? Hey, what are you supposed to say when they kill somebody? But you can't say like kill or murder on YouTube. Unalive. Yeah. Okay. So y'all not gonna know what really happened with ICE until years later after the fact, and then they'll be like, yeah, they unalived about 11 million people. Half of them was citizens. You know. And then after the fact, people gonna be trying to act like, oh yeah, we knew it was a game. But y'all, some of y'all so scared you going along with this stuff because you want to act like Trump's coming to save you. He's coming to save you. The hell? He's looking out for himself. He's following orders. If he was really doing everything that was for him, he wouldn't be doing the will of Israel. Just like all the presidents, they all lapdogs for Israel, right? I gotta be careful, like how I say this, because you can't even say anything about Israel. So we're gonna say, you know, we'll say small hats. That's what everybody's saying. We know what time it is. Hey, look, people don't want to do any work, so now you want to act like the president is trying to save you, trying to place you in power. Why? All these other groups that's vying for power, it's in higher, better positions than us. It's already organized. It's already got militias and armies and stuff. We ain't gonna pass over them to give it to us. And he don't even have to. But getting back to this, these demon Moors are the ones that are working every scheme that they can to disqualify. The me in here is who? Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So they're working every scheme that they can to disqualify Prophet Noble Drew Ali so that they may take charge of the situation. They're being sent whether they realize it or not. Now, this is where, like what the brother was saying earlier in the chat, this is where it's coming into play what you're saying about them unknowingly doing this stuff. Now, they're knowingly putting out confusion. They know they're going against the prophet, but they may not know they're doing the work of the secret cabal, the secret government. All right, because they're getting Moors to go along with this crap, talking about you not a citizen, knowing that ICE coming to scrap and wrap everybody. They're not sending these people necessarily back to their home country. Some people get sent back to their home country, but then you also got men, women, and children that don't go anywhere else. They still in the United States of America in like some warehouse or something that's been turned into an internment camp. Okay, and that's very real. They're doing that. You might hear some people crying about it, talking about this person was a citizen. They do it. It's not funny. They doing it. And so this is the wrong time for you to be out here talking this stupid foolishness that these demon Moors are actually spreading and saying, talking about you're not a citizen, blah blah blah. Moors aren't a citizen. You not a citizen. Fine, I don't care. Who cares what happens to you? You're a devil. You're a demon. You're spreading horrible lies and lying on the prophet. You work in every scheme that you can to disqualify the prophet, to take charge of the situation, get a bunch of Moors caught up, and get them unalive, get them to disappear. Working every scheme that you can when it's obvious what the prophet said. Like I was saying earlier, the prophet said American citizens. He also said citizens of the USA. I'm gonna show you some proof of that because these Moors they can be like, well, he only said American citizen. He didn't say USA. Yes, he did. Right here, you devils and demons. You demons, you're lying. And so this has to be put out there to show the truth on the record, on the Moorish platform. Moors in America, we're not scared. We don't care. We don't care if it offends some of these Moors that Out here teaching the lies, we don't care, man. You're nothing, you're demons. Going to from the prophet. This is from Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And now this isn't from the prophet, sorry. This is proclamation was put out by the prophet was March 11th, 1929. That's all we have for a title. Okay. That's in the Moorish literature booklet. If you see these numbers by these titles, it's because that's where it is in our booklet. But just get the title, just get the Moorish literature. All right. March 11th, 1928, from our holy and divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. This is just a quote from it. You can get the whole thing in that Moorish literature. Now it says, when a man fails after being placed head of temple by the prophet of obeying our divine laws and constitutions, he is a traitor and enemy of the divine creed and unloyal to the national government USA, to which the movement is to make men and women better citizens. Which was, I gave you two other examples before where the prophet said that this divine national movement was created to help make its members better citizens. And these Moors, they hate it. I know y'all hating it. You hate the words of the prophet. You hate Prophet Noble Drew Ali, demon. And if you're watching this and getting mad, that means you're a demon. Like, how stupid can you be? You could never admit that this makes you mad. That means you know you're a demon. Who goes against the prophet? Who? This should make everybody who knows that they've been out of line get right. Correct yourself now. We're no longer asleep. See, Moors was asleep at the wheel. Some of the Moors knew better and they didn't want to offend the Moors out here. It's against the prophet. All right. Some of the Moors just didn't know any better. They don't actually study the prophet. And then you got these dudes who know better. And y'all pushing that bogus paperwork. Y'all, just like was saying before, read it from the prophet. The prophet already called your mess out nearly 100 years ago. He knew that y'all was working every scheme that you could to disqualify him. How are you trying to disqualify him now, nearly 100 years later, by trying to get everybody to think it's cool to be a refugee, to be a stateless individual, to be a citizen of something that's in disarray, discord, that only exists in concept, in our minds as an idea. It doesn't exist on the ground. It doesn't exist as in people who are really fully, have a sovereign nation where they can keep other people out of their business and keep other people from poisoning them, from destroying their water, their food, everything. So they're working every scheme that they can. They pushing paperwork and everything they can because they working from lack and limitation. They don't have no whole bunch of resources. They just trying to sell you some bogus paperwork. All right, so y'all know what time it is. I mean, you can read, and if you didn't know this before, like I was showing before, make sure you go to morishamericans.com, get the Quran questionnaire, this and the Quran that's all together in one book. Get the Moorish literature at the very least. If you want to go all the way in, join and proclaim. But we're not gonna stop there. Maybe you're tired. You've seen enough. You're like, well, he never said the United States of America. He said USA up there before. National government, USA. That's just like the other scheming devil demon Moors talking about he only said American citizen. Okay. He said American citizen. He said USA. Here he says United States of America. You want to act like the prophets, like those demons, the secret cabal that uses all this confusion with the terms USA and US to mean different things. No, prophet doesn't matter if he said US or USA, he was referring to the same thing. Don't be out here spreading confusion. Don't do it in the prophet's name. Have some integrity. Stay away from that foolishness. When we're talking about the words of our prophet, it was not confusion. You Moors are the ones that's confused and spreading this trash. Now, going to this quote, this is from Prophet makes a plea to the nation. Once again, you can get that in Moorish literature. These are words from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's supposed to be law for you. It's law for me. So it says, it is the great God Allah alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. The great God alone that guides the destiny of this divine national movement. It don't matter what you Moors think. You don't have confidence in what the prophet brought. This makes you mad seeing him talk about American citizens, the United States of America. Y'all want to spread this confusion. You don't think it works. Just because you don't know how it works, you can't wrap your heads around how we can rebuild our communities and eventually our nation. Doesn't matter. You just not as wise as the prophet. That's it. You have a problem with anything that's being shared here, right? But getting back to this, I know all, and remember, the great God alone guides the destiny of this. Not these demon Moors out here running their mouths. I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. All true American citizens, which includes us, as he already said before, we're American citizens. All true American citizens are identified by national descent names, and we're all to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this national republic of the United States of America. Period. No confusion where we stand. That's why I'm calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I'm doing to help this national government. He's calling on all true national citizens, all the other citizens in this country that have they all have a line of descent. He's calling on all of them to help, all who are true citizens. But without a free national name, without a descent flag of your forefathers, there is not a national divine title of the government in which we live. This is from your true and divine prophet to all American and foreign sympathizers. Okay? So he's calling us back to the fold and to get under the constitutional fold to get right. And he's calling on assistance from all other true American citizens. So to let you know too, for Moors out there talking bad, talking down on other people who are Americans, man, you're wrong. You're in the wrong. The prophet did not do that. Why are you doing that? What are you trying to do? Bring a movement into attack for no reason? You would have to be going against the prophet even just to do that. When you look in our Constitution, we're warned against that type of behavior. We're going to go back to the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Now, he already spoke about us being American citizens in here, but we want to go clarify things up a little bit more. This is a longer quote. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind to their forefathers' divine and national principles. They will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens. According to the free national constitution, it was prepared for all free national beings. So he's talking about the Constitution of the United States of America that was prepared for all free national beings. I'm not talking about the divine constitution and bylaws. The divine constitution and bylaws, right, of the Moorish Science Temple of America. He's not talking about that. So we're supposed to be law abiders and receive our divine rights as citizens. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. Some of these Moors are so despicable, they will read this stuff and then go against it right there. Because they think that you don't know how to read. You don't have reading comprehension. You can't see that they're against the prophet at every step of the way, which is also despicable because that means they think we're stupid. There's but one issue for them, and this also shows you that some of these people actually have handlers. Some of these people, they look like us, right? They look like us, but they're not with us. They're not with the prophets, so they're against us. They're falsehood. They're demons, and they actually have handlers. You know that they have handlers because they either have handlers or they just hate their own people. They hate themselves. And these are the Moors, for the most part, the ones with the biggest mouths that you see out there running their mouths, selling their bogus paperwork and stuff. And I'm trying to get to a point. You can tell they have handlers. They either have handlers or they self hate it so deep. And you can tell they have handlers probably because they're telling them, oh, those people, they don't really read. They don't really comprehend what they're reading. They stupid. So you can read the words of the prophet. And these people be like, well, it contradicts what I'm teaching. They're like, no, no, don't worry about that. These people, they comprehension is so low. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about none of that. Right? So they either have handlers or they really like hate themselves. They think that we all stupid. So Moors, if you've been going along with this foolishness, you need to step your game up. I'm gonna say this one more time, probably. Well, yeah, this is gonna be the last time in this video. But if you don't have Moorish literature, you just going off of what you see online, what you hear, what you think it is, you messing up, man. You go to MoorishAmericans.com, just click on Temple Store, get the Moorish literature. All these publications are in there. These have been preserved for 90 some 100 years almost. And then also we have the Holy Quran of the MSTA and the Quran Questionnaire in one book. Get that too. It has everything in there. The additional laws is in there. Uh, our authority, the whole Quran Questionnaire is in there in this one book, front to the back. The whole Holy Quran is in there. Get it. Get that. No matter what, at least get that Holy Quran and the Moorish literature. Okay, these people getting over on you. They think the lowest of you. They really do think that we are stupid. And when I say we, I mean they think you stupid. They think all of us are stupid. They don't even know how to like understand things on your own. All right, because they straight up lying. They will read these proclamations that go against everything that they say and do, and then they'll turn around and try to sell you some garbage. And they don't even think you're gonna be smart enough to say, "Oh hell no, this everything you saying goes against the prophet." Because y'all not you demons out there. You're not cool enough, strong enough to just stand on your own. Just keep it real. You're not with the prophet. You're out here causing confusion. Just do you. You know, y'all crazy because everybody ain't like me. Like I ain't looking for you. I ain't trying to mess with you. But y'all trying to piss some of these ones off that are like serious about the prophet. They ain't playing no games out here, and they will straight up take your head off. So y'all are crazy as hell playing games like this with the prophet. Me personally, I'm just putting the warning out there. Y'all are insane. You playing with fire. All right. The prophet already warned you about all that though. He warned you. You're not gonna succeed. You try, but you will fail. You're working every scheme that you can to disqualify the prophet Noble through Ali so that you may take charge of the situation, but it ain't gonna work. All right. You're the one that's gonna wind up in the little ICE detainment camp. Some of the people listening to you might go there too, but you'll be in there as an example because you out here leading people astray. Some of y'all already in prison. You know, you got caught up, you got lost in the sauce. But just going back to the divine warning, there's but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth. This government, the United States of America, and other governments, and of the earth. And it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all the nations of the world. Now, some of you liars and deceivers will try to act like it's incorporated in the prophet's government. No, we know the prophet incorporated this in Springfield, right? Illinois, Cook County, Illinois, right? And it's recognized by all the nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights, unmolested by other citizens. That they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. So the prophet speaking directly to his people. Through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights and cast a free national ballot. All right, it just kills all of y'all. We ain't citizens. You're just trying to keep us broke, busted, and disgusted, and just messed up for generations. The prophet didn't teach any of that, man. Y'all against them at every step of the way, man, and it's despicable. It's just disgusting how you operate, you demons. But we keeping it strictly with the prophet here. The prophet said it so much better than I, because like I feel like you guys should be, you should be insulted. You should be. It should be spoken of how evil you are. You are demons, right? I don't think dirty Moors is good enough because you're demons. What else call someone who knows this stuff already and goes against it? This is truth. This is divine instructions from our prophet, and you're against it. You hate the prophet because he said we're citizens. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, that's y'all, demons. Go to those that know the law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. You trying to put the Moors into deeper darkness than they already in. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I'm hereby calling on all true citizens to stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. All y'all, the people, whole bunch of y'all, you just want, oh, we got to enforce the Constitution, enforce the Constitution. You want to take that one quote out of context. See, this is why we got to stand on right to travel. Like, what the hell? Right to travel was when people was horse and buggy, riding horseback, walking on foot. And the state government has since updated and said if you are traveling in a vehicle that didn't even exist back then, you driving in one of these cars, you in an 18-wheeler, and you try and tell me somebody should be driving an 18-wheeler and they shouldn't even have a license. You're crazy. Y'all despicable. Y'all are demons. Yes, the state government is more wise than you. You're fools. This is why this is a divine warning from the prophet, by the prophet for the nations. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. Y'all want to stand on the Constitution and enforce the Constitution that don't even apply to you because you're not citizens. It don't apply to you. Why? Like, you think like somebody from London or like anywhere else in the world shouldn't be over here trying to enforce our Constitution or enforce laws or anything over here. Stay over there. There was some video with that Netanyahu guy who he's trying to tell Americans what they need to do. And it's like, dude, kick rocks. Gone somewhere with that. Why are you even over here? Why are you trying to tell us anything? To hell with you, right? I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again. That they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love. That's from the prophet. That's the divine warning. So I hope you were able to listen to all of this. There's no confusion where we truly stand with our prophet. Moors that are saying they have problems with Moors is telling Moors they must remain U.S. citizens. And like the Moors, the temple leaders, grand chiefs that think Moors are still U.S. citizens. Something's wrong with us. We with the prophet. If that's what's wrong with us, fine. So be it. We're going to be against you because you against the prophet. How's that? You're against the prophet. You're a demon. You're not gonna keep it real. You're gonna lie. You're spreading confusion. You're lawless. You're despicable. Still saying we're not citizens, but the prophet's words stand against yours. You can't hold any weight to the prophet. All right. For the person who said the Moors you speak of should be called by name so people know who to steer clear of. I feel you on that. That's for some of the other channels to do. Go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna get into the back and forth with these Moors because I've seen like these Moors are ignorant as hell. They're on demon time. They on demon time, demon levels. I'm not calling them out by name. It's not like I'm not scared of them or nothing. It's a waste of time. They're despicable. I'm not bringing light to them. That's the other thing too. Some of those Moors that's doing this demon stuff, they don't have a big platform. And this platform, Moors in America, I can show you if you want to see. I mean, on YouTube, it's like how many people actually subscribe to the YouTube channel? It is 48,000, almost 48,800 subscribers on YouTube. And then if we go to Facebook, it's way more. So, and because Facebook in the Facebook group got over 15,000 people in there, and these are real people. I'm gonna show this for a second too, just because that's good. I'm glad you did bring that up. It's good, but we're not calling people out by name because, in all honesty, I reach more people than some of these dirtbag Moors out there, and so why would I bring light to them? You know, but they are out here spreading confusion. Some of them have big flat platforms too, so we will go ahead and address it. But like, nah, not bringing them on here to debate or nothing stupid like that. Moors in America on Facebook, 82,000 followers. All right, real people, not like out here asking people to follow it. Real people follow it. Okay, 82,000. Also got a Facebook group, couple groups, but on the Moors in America Facebook group, over 15,000 members. And every day there's people, several people like you see right there, is people trying to join. Every day is people trying to join, and I'm like, okay, this dude only joined 15 weeks ago. This may be a real person, but I'm about to decline and block. Nothing against you, E. John Williams, just age only 15 months old. I don't want no fake people in here. I don't want people sharing a bunch of spam. Most of these groups, especially they're this big, they got over 15,000 members and growing. They got spam, just ton of spam in there. I didn't had just in the last year, we've had like nearly 2,500 people that's been haven't been approved. Right, so people's trying to join and get in there, and we not letting them in. And so I'm just saying that to say that this is a platform that can actually reach people. See, yeah, I'm gonna expose the garbage. I'm gonna expose it. Am I gonna talk about these people that's doing it personally? Nah, man, because they piss ass. They're nobodies. They're nothing. They're devils. Yes, they are demons. But why would you listen to anyone who's going against the prophet? Who cares what their name is? Who cares who they are? Are you a fan? Are you impressed by their names? If what they're saying doesn't line up with the prophet, demon, keep it moving. I don't care what their name is. That was the answer to that. The Moors that you speak of, you should know by name. It don't matter what their name is. If what they saying don't line up with the prophet, demon, keep it moving. The name correction, doing it with the temple and not yourself. I would suggest watching this whole program because if you're watching this, you see that like we're not saying that we're not citizens of the United States of America because that's going against the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Why would we do that? You do it the same way that everyone else has, unless your temple is instructing you like, hey, we doing it this way. We have some, special recognition where the Moors just got to do this, show that you actually a member, you do. That's it. Plain and simple. And if you want to do it on your own and you don't want to do it with the temple, do it on your own. Don't do it with the temple. Who cares? You don't follow the prophet. That's fine. Just do it on your own. All right. Because, and I only say that because if you, I mean, some people may it honestly, genuinely, like maybe you in one of them temples where these so-called temple leaders are up here saying we not citizens and stuff. They going against the prophet. You should probably get out of there. I mean, you should either hold that leader accountable and work to get him removed since he's against the prophet, or you should just leave. If you don't have the energy to do that, just leave. Okay. But otherwise, I wouldn't advise trying to do all this stuff yourself. Because, like, if you want to change your name, fine, you can change your name to anything you want. But, like, as far as actually building up a nation, at least building a Moorish community where you live at, that stuff takes work, and it takes more than just you, more than just your household. And so that's something that you would have to do with other people. And that's why the prophet set up the temple for us. Not just like, oh, every man for himself. Because if that's what he did, it wouldn't work. All right. So that's it. That's the answer to that question. And not trying to be short or anything. Just got to keep it moving. I see more questions coming in. I see somebody look like they got a whole bunch of stuff to say. Somebody from Facebook. Let's see what they say. Over here. Put this up. Okay. Something like your prophet. Okay. Not one of us. What did your prophet mean by nationality? Because that's not religious word. And do the government call the U.S. recognize that? Do the government call the U.S. recognize that nationality? Your prophet. That's your prophet. I don't understand. Like you got to word that better. If they do recognize it, is it recognized as only religion and not actual Moorish community? So I kind of, sort of, could make out what you're saying, but you got to word that a little bit better. I see it says Pharaoh Tiziel Il. You got the eel on your name, or has it? Some will say L. You got the eel on there, El. People weren't doing that before the Prophet overthrew Ali. They weren't calling themselves eels and bays. They weren't eels and bays and wearing the fez and the turbans until the Prophet overthrew Ali came and established this for us. So people like to take little bits and pieces from the Prophet, but then go off because I see you said your prophet, like it's not your prophet. Okay, that's cool. It's not really cool, but I'm gonna just say it's cool and keep it moving. Maybe this don't apply to you at all though. If it's our prophet, why are you asking these questions? Like, who cares? You're not a part of this. You can, if you could answer that, like, are you a part of this Moorish divine national movement? Because you're saying you're a prophet, and you expressing like, is this even recognized? And you didn't word this properly because I reading it out loud, it don't make sense. What did your prophet mean by nationality? Because it's not religious word. And do the government call the U.S. recognize that nationality that your prophet? What the heck are you trying to say? You have to word that better, brother. And in order to answer this question, like, are you an outsider? It's just like if you like from some foreign country or something, and you come and ask me about your prophet, I don't even feel like I really have to answer that. Like, you're not one of us. Some outsider. So are you one of us? Are you Moorish American? You've been following us and still haven't learned nothing about Moorish. So why are you following us? What did our prophet mean by nationality? That's explained clearly in the documentation I've been telling people to get. Get the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America and get the Moorish literature. And this stuff is plain and clear. I'll explain it, but you don't even need me to explain it because he makes it plain and clear what our nationality actually is, what it actually means. We're returning to the fold the ways of our forefathers and foremothers as Moorish American Muslims. We know who we are. You can go to chapter 47 if you want to know who we are. You can read the rest of the book if you want to know how we conduct ourselves ideally, whether this is as an individual or as a nation, right? Looks like this is going slow. I was trying to click on chapter 35 and then 47. Going a little slow, but just it's gonna pull that up because it gives you some ideas about Islam, how we conduct ourselves, what we do individually, and as a nation, and then also who we are, where we come from, what's our line of descent. That's what our nationality is, right? There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, incomprehensible, meaning you can't understand him. I don't care how smart you think you are. Because even though we are Allah, and especially once we do the work to subdue our lower self to connect with the higher self that we want with the creator, but we're still not everywhere, all at once. We are potentially, but you're not outside of that. You're right now at the moment, you're within the creation, experiencing the life as a part of that creation. You're connected to the eternal, right? So the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Right? So it's not like you're Allah by yourself. The Son is not Allah, though his noblest image. Right? We're not saying anything like that, just so that there's no confusion. Even though, we are actually spirit. We're not the body nor the soul. We're spirit and one with our Father God Allah. It's not saying that you just by yourself, you Allah, doing everything. No, you actually experiencing this creation. It's something that's got a separate, its own identity, right? So, that's enough to deal with without having to keep everything else moving. And that's who we are, right? Going to chapter 47 too, explaining our line of descent, where we come from a physical perspective, who we are, how we got here in the Americas. If you don't have those books, you can go to morishamericans.com to order that. It just provides more insight. If you actually even really wanted to ask these questions for real, because if you're just here to argue or something, I don't know. Can't see. I'm not seeing all your comments like right away. But if you're serious and sincere, get the Moorish literature book and the Holy Quran with the Quran questionnaire explains who we are. I also have a book that I wrote called Unlocking the Keys, which pretty much goes into the Quran questionnaire from a metaphysical point of view, really gets into the actual true spiritual meaning. Some of the things that go over the average person's head, I think, when reading those questions or those keys, as we will refer to them, Moorish American Muslims. And it's not like it's just so complicated. Just go over people's heads. It's just that you really do need like some insight, a teacher, somebody who's been traveled not just in the lessons, studying the lessons, but also in their life with wisdom to share insight on what this is actually talking about, and how you can use these to improve yourself, improve your life. That's really what we're about, uplifting fallen humanity. All right. So, you know, you're asking if the nationality is recognized by the U.S. states. It is to a degree. In this country, everybody who proclaims themselves to be, whoever they are, is recognized. Even nowadays, people who are like claiming to be a different gender or whatever than they were, as they say now, they say assigned at birth, like this is who you were born as, who you were assigned that by God, right? Allah. But like everybody's recognized. Now, the legislation and things that you can get to further cement that, that's work that the people have to do on their own. And if that's what you're talking about, that's work that has to be done as a collective, an organized collective, maybe with lobbyists or people to speak on their behalf. And that's something that has to come through organization and more is moving as an actual nation instead of in disarray and all this other stuff that's going on. Like I see you have the ill on your name. Are you even with us? If you're not with us and you moving on your own or moving with something else, who knows what you got going on? So, like are you recognized? Because these people will be like, I'm recognized. They over there by themselves. They'll hold up some proclamation or something. We sent this to the UN, and that's why we reckon. It's like, man, go on somewhere with that, man. I ain't saying that's you. I'm just saying, man, come on. It takes work, collective work, discipline, and real people who's legit, who's in it to win it. They're not gonna quit because things didn't go their way first time, right? And I'm tired of all these people who trying to act like my paperwork. This is why we recognize it. You talking about something like the UN or something like y'all somewhere with that mess. I have all kinds of Moorish American books, Prophet Ali, and I study on my own. Yes, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'm not knocking people to study on their own. Got to do that. I think everybody should do that regardless of where you're at, whether you're in the temple or not. You study because, like, if I wasn't studying on my own, I wouldn't have been able to write this book to help people to realize their potential to utilize the keys that the prophet created. Just going through here, like even just the imagery that's in here, showing how the higher and lower self's been demonstrated before our eyes our whole life, showing the angel and demon on the people's shoulders and that struggle between the higher and lower self, but also like these are like obviously Asiatic people. This ain't somebody from Sudan or from Nigeria. So I'm not knocking people from these places. Just saying, like, look at their haircut. Look how they look. This is us. This is our people, and we are demonstrating mastery of higher over the lower self. And this is how we can do it. So it's going into the keys a little more in depth, and everything is put in here and designed in here to help to draw these higher aspects out of you with the visuals, but also especially with those instructions in here. It's 420 pages in this book. It goes really deep in depth in the Quran questionnaire. Everything from the symbolism and the cover to the actual each key. And you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna share something with y'all more. Make sure you go and get it. The link, you can just get it straight from the link that's in the description. You can get it from Amazon, right? But if you get it directly from me, I will autograph that and ship it out to you ASAP.
Unlock the Keys, a powerful guide to Moorish identity, divine law, and self-mastery. Praised by sheiks and scholars alike, and Moors across the nation are calling it a must-read. Grab your signed copy now at morrisonamerica.com for just $23. Or get the paperback on Amazon, also $23. Prefer digital? The Kindle version is only $3.99.
Morris, getting right back into this. I see questions in here. Just trying to get right back to where I left off. I'm gratitude to y'all for sending these questions too. I see you, Javon White. Can you do the name correction yourself and still join the temple? Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, you can do that. You can do everything yourself. You don't have to wait. You can join with us, even like with our orientation. Even with part of our orientation, we just have like videos with instructions on doing the name correction and everything, putting it on the record, who you are and all that, but doing so in a way like it lines up with what the prophet intended. Because like some of these Moors will have you like doing all this crazy stuff, sending stuff to the UN, to the president, Secret Service, the Pentagon, and all this crazy mess, and it's like, why? This is something that you're doing in the private for yourself. You got to word it that way so they know we're not in the public. It's in the private. So you're doing something in the private for yourself, and they telling you to get all these people involved with your business and putting like way too much information in there. That's crazy. But yeah, you can go to MoorishAmericans.com, link up with our temple. You can always join and proclaim with us. And if you're not in our area too, we can help link you up with temples in your area. Yeah. And I see that, saying people didn't call themselves. I didn't say they didn't call themselves Eel, or Bay before the prophet. I'm talking about our people specifically in North America. They would not. No, it was not a bunch of people walking around with bezes and turbans calling themselves Eels and Bays. You know, and we could talk on the phone, but that's not going to change the fact that people weren't doing that, and they definitely weren't doing that. And also forming a temple an actual organization that was about teaching the people how to be Allah, how to subdue the lower self and unfold the creator within them, right? That's what the prophet was doing. It wasn't about worshiping him or putting him on some pedestal. He kept it straight to the point, plain and real. And then on top of all that, the Moors were putting, finances aside, were building up their own treasury locally and also nationally, and they had businesses, and they were also moving politically. Like there was so much that was being done. It's like it's not any of the stuff that you're saying or not saying, leaving out. It was way deeper than that. So it was like it's like nowadays, yeah, people be like, yeah, we Moors, and they make videos about it. He wasn't just telling them that they were Moors. They're moving as Moorish Americans as a nation. It was a lot of work that went along with it. But hey, some people just want to be against the prophet. Actually, I respect this brother that's in the chat that's saying all this stuff that's going against the prophet because at least he real about it. He's against the prophet. These other dudes is selling paperwork, they doing all this bogus stuff, and they act like they with the prophet. At least this guy's going against it. He's Muslim, mean white, Muslim, mean black. That's what the U.S. said. Hey, that's cool. I mean, I would have to look that up. I don't know about it. Maybe there's more information to it. Maybe what you're saying has some point. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, at least this dude's against the prophet. Okay, these other people want to act like they with the prophet, and that's demon like. So yeah, I respect you. I respect the questions, everything he's saying. Ain't no disrespect. Yeah, and one of the important things though about religion is you saying it's just a religion, it's not a nation, and then trying to throw a little diss in there. Go ask your father, the government. Our father, or in the aspect that maybe you're using it, acting like your father, your creator. Our father is our creator, Allah, right? And religion is important because of the entrapment that was placed on our people, right? Now, what's the First Amendment, or what's when you go into the Constitution, what comes up first? All right, what's the first freedom that we have? Okay, it says new comment. Maybe somebody answered. What's the first freedom that we have, like concerning the American government? This is important. Everybody needs to know this, right? Everybody should know this. But when we're looking in the Constitution, the First Amendment is dealing with religion. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, so in that Bill of Rights, first thing dealing with religion, and then also everybody is guaranteed the freedom of what? Of religion. Everybody. This is guaranteed under the Constitution. So everyone has the freedom of religion. But that freedom of religion, even in the wording of it, it actually has it's dealing with a right that most of us don't think of, right? Because they're talking about freedom of religion as endowed to them through their creator. And this is where our people get caught up because they don't know who their creator is. As you're saying, ask your father, the government. That's the people's creator. They don't even realize that you're created. You're going by some label where they created a line of descent for you. You descend from your ancestors are the enslaved Africans. And I'm not even saying that some people, some of us, or maybe even all of us, I'm not saying that people don't descend from enslaved Africans. I'm just saying that that's not good enough. That's a very vague description. And these things aren't just things that were just done by happenstance. These are just things that just out there. It don't matter. You ain't got to do nothing about it. Don't even worry about that. Nah, when you're looking at how these things are worded, legally, it does matter. Everything matters. So if you're endowed with freedom, a religion, or with inalienable rights through your creator, if everybody has an unalienable rights through their creator, if your creator is a European, then that's what you're limited to, right? So just in the prophet returning us to Islam, that's a huge part of who we are. And that also, by coming back into this religion, we're created by Allah. We're Islamic. Part of our religion, because we needed a American prophet. And I'm not trying to get this to you, especially if you against the prophet. You don't care. But if we returning to our prophet, we're returning to our source, our creator, the consciousness and awareness of who we truly are through our prophet. And one of the divine orders in place for our prophet is to assist us in building our nation. And that means this work, everything that we must do is a part of our religion. And through the freedom of religion, we are able to do all of this unimpeded upon. Why would anybody go against that? I don't know. Who cares? Everybody do you. You got something else figured out for I don't know. For all I know, this dude have a real big following and doing his own thing. I have no idea. All I know is that, you know, um, people that are like claiming the Moorish thing, but they against the prophet, they doing that. At least this dude is honest about it. He seems like he's against the prophet. Yo prophet. Blah blah. Okay, fine. That's cool. I respect that. But these other Moors despicable. They acting like they align with the prophet, but they hate the prophet at every turn. So not gonna sway me over here. You're not gonna like get any, point or nothing across really over here because like everything that you're saying is limited. Like, dude, this is part of our religion is rebuilding our nation. This is it. Yeah, this is perfect, right? All this stuff, Elion came long before. Who cares? Whatever. They wasn't doing nothing about it. People who may have been calling themselves elevated didn't do anything about it. They definitely didn't create a movement that survived being driven down to the lowest stages where it looked like it was dead. It looked like all the temples was done. People who was with the prophet left, went back to being Negro and colored. And then nearly 100 years later, here we are growing strong, even though they don't talk about it, even though they still act like we don't exist. They don't give this any light on the news. It's only Moorish platforms like this that's publicly saying this unashamedly, unapologetically. We Moors, this is who we are, we're here. And also keeping the prophet out front. These other guys is, spreading the lies and ignorance. They don't want the prophet's words out front because it goes against their agenda. Yeah. So, even with the prophet making the transition, as he said, killed, you know, this movement is here. And it's not because of y'all. It's not because of y'all that hate the prophet that made this come back up. It's because it's all in divine order, in divine time. So it don't matter if you believe it's real or not. It doesn't matter. You know, it's real. You're not the reason why we're here. And then, yeah, so that's what's up. And I don't know how anybody could ever say anything about me sounding like some sovereign citizen when I'm against all that crap, all that foolishness, because it all goes against the prophet. I don't push any of that garbage. None of it. Right? If people watch this show, you will see I'm sharing how the prophet said that we citizens of the United States of America. Gotta specify that because you have Estados Unidos Mexicanos. That's the United States of Mexico, also known as Mexico for short. So this is the United States of America. So we're American citizens. Bottom line. You know. Islam, brother. I would say reach out to us. Um, Like the finances for correcting your name, they shouldn't be going to any more. Wherever you're at, like more than likely the county that you live in, they have some fees that you have to pay to get it done, and that's it. But I would just say, just reach out to us, especially when you're saying it's costly to join the temple. Reach out to us because it shouldn't really be costly. The temple dues and fees are like really inexpensive. So I'm gonna share our temple link on here and say reach out to us. Go there, get the contact info, reach out to us. That doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be costly. Advice: listen to the wisdom of the prophet. You don't have to learn the hard way. You don't have to mess up your life. You don't have to waste a whole bunch of money sending people money, sending demons money. Actually, don't send these demons a dime. Right? Don't learn the hard way. You can come on in and join, and then also listen to the other Moors who are saying they learned this the hard way. They found out these people are scam artists. They're demons. They're trying to mislead us. Listen to them. Don't overlook this stuff. All right. Protect yourself. Be wise. And at the end of the day, these people who are spreading these lies, they're just trying to get over. They're just trying to get money, right? And I would advise you, if you're following and listening and you still haven't learned anything, stop. Move on. It's garbage. Is there higher up wisdom? Yeah, there is. One of the things I would advise people to do is get the book. I shared the book, Unlocking the Keys. Get that book. Reason being is because it's basically like a self help book. It goes deeper into the keys and just shows you practically this is what it means. Metaphysically, this is what it means. This is how you can use this on a regular basis in your life for real. I'm saying this. This is somebody who is moving. I'm good. Like I'm not having problems with like not struggling with like doing good. So that's why I'm sharing this. And so like yeah, if you um been following Moors and you ain't learning nothing, stop. Like it's insanity to keep doing the same thing and it's not working. Right. I would say just off the lessons in here, the keys on higher and lower self alone makes it worth it. But you know, I mean, this is just, it's powerful. It's filled up with wisdom going through all 101 keys, breaking down the symbolism, and it's not just useless knowledge. This is like these expanded discussions in here, and then this is showing you how to use these lessons in your life. The key, speaking about the holy city of Mecca, it's a sacred location, right? In Islam, the holy city represents a pure and sacred space within us that's in you. So when we're, making the pilgrimage to Mecca, we don't have to go nowhere. We don't have to go over there to the Middle East. You don't have to go to Chicago. This is where you turn internally because it's actually within us. And we're speaking and demonstrating on how to do this for real so that we can individually and collectively begin to reap the benefits of being our higher self, being the greatest version of us, the highest version of us. So this is about improving everything, including your finances, just mind state, all of that stuff, right? That's what that's really about. So, that to me, that's the most important. Actually, getting real improvement. Forget just getting knowledge, just to get information, collect the information, because you got people that's out here collecting information, and they not no further ahead in life. It's pointless. It's useless info. We're not trying to do that over here. So, that's really what we're about here. It's like real improvement. And so, and you in here in the chat cursing, like, dude, what the heck? Why you in here cursing? You don't hear me cursing at all. That means raise up the level. Just match the energy, or go higher. And so, getting back to what you're saying in here though, when you're saying have you ever messed up doing random, what are you talking about? Just like following information that's online? 'Cause I mean, I wasted some time listening to some of that stuff or studying some of that stuff, but I ain't never like sent, like thousands of dollars and stuff like some of these people doing, man. I don't even trust these people because I realize that a lot of people is sharing that stuff. They don't even have their life together, so it's like at the end of the day, you can't tell me nothing. If you don't have your life together, I don't believe nothing you say, nothing at all. Right? The only thing I can learn from you is what not to do. But Kenya and Jackson, if you want to clear that up, feel free to you type that in the chat. Not sure what you meant by that. And gonna get out of here pretty soon. Okay. Oh, on the fast. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're fasting during Ramadan, typically when people like say you didn't fast for a day or two, they just make it up. Later on, like uh, the fast for Ramadan, as people are doing all over the world, it ends on, I believe, March 19th. I'm fasting, even though I'm fasting October with the rest of the Moorish Americans. I'm still fasting right now. I would say, yeah, just make most Muslims all over the world. They just make it up later. So if Ramadan ends on the 19th, then they would end on the 22nd if they miss 2 days. You know, so it's not like anything to be stressed about. You know, you just have me. Or say you missed a whole week. So instead of on the 19th, they're gonna do it on the 26th. 7 days later. Right? It's not supposed to be like stressful. It's not supposed to be something you're supposed to be seeing um, as a negative thing. And yeah, we fasting. Well, I can't say we all do. I say a lot of us do. A lot of Moorish Americans fast in October. One of the main reasons is because the first convention, when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali announced to the world, proclaimed us a nation, was in October 1928. So yeah, for a lot of Moors that we hold to that. Either they fast for the whole month of October, or they fast from October 15th to like November 15th. But yeah, we in our household we do that, and we fast during the Ramadan that most Muslims recognize. Um, and I say that it's just personal reasons. Like it's never a bad idea to fast. I'm not saying that we have to do it. I'm just saying it's not a bad idea, man. It can't hurt you. But we don't go off of the moon cycle, so it's not like we're really concerned with that. We just do it in solidarity because it's empowering spiritually. Yeah, and we're Muslims. Even though I would say Muslim with an O, we're Muslims. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's um it's not like it's some difficult endeavor that's evil or wicked. No, it's actually pure. It's enlightening. There's nothing wrong with it. And sounds like for the person in the chat, Chandler Bay. I mean, it just sounds like all of us. Because when I first heard about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I was in my early 20s. But who am I going to be suspicious of? can't be suspicious of my parents because they didn't know about the prophet. I had to teach them about the prophet. So I'm not looking at them sideways because they didn't know. How they gonna teach me if they didn't know? Even my grandparents didn't know. So I can't. I'm not looking at my grandparents suspicious because they didn't know. They actually did not know. Now I don't know if my great grandparents knew or not, but I'm just saying like everybody one they didn't know just like I didn't. If I didn't go this route, they still wouldn't know. So the thing that does that is crazy that would make that I understand make people tired is that your own people is out here trying to get over, trying to push some bogus paperwork, trying to steal. You know, I hate that. That's wicked. That's evil. That's why I call them demons because they're demons. They're against Allah. They're against our prophet. And that's they like that's why I had the prophet's words up here. Islam, brother McGee Bay, Islam. Peace and love to you and your family, brother. This is why I had the words of the prophet up here. Because I don't care what any of these Moors are saying. I don't care who they are. If it don't match up with the prophet, I ain't rocking with them. Period. If they're going against the prophet, if they're speaking against the prophet's words, I don't trust them. I have no love for them at all. All right. And especially those ones who are grand sheiks and governors and grand governors and have these positions, and they out here telling the Moors we not U.S. citizens, acting like it's the temple Moors and grand sheiks. When you see what the prophet said, all these proclamations, everything sacred. The organization is playing a useful and definite part in the advancing of the sacred obligations of American citizenship. The prophet set us up to win, to succeed. Nobody can come against you if you stand with the prophet. I mean, they can, but they're going to look like fools at the end of the day. So these fools are out here trying to take advantage of us. They think that we stupid. They think that we can't comprehend. They don't even think they got to work that hard. They think that even though the stuff that they're saying goes against the prophet, they can still sell that garbage and push it down your throat. I'm saying more stand up. Stand with the prophet. That's it. That's where we stand. The person who was saying earlier, we need to call them out by names. Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. That's confrontational, and I get it. I forget them fools, man. They could kick rocks all day. I ain't trying to protect them fools. They're disgusting. They're demons. They do deserve to be called out, but I'm not gonna do it because it don't matter. Some of them are piss ants. They're like so beneath me that they will never get the light of day on this channel. They wish that I would bring them on here and let them talk so they can sell you some garbage. But it's never gonna happen. They will never get any light on Moors in America. They'll never reach as many people as Moors in America either. And so we're gonna keep it that way. And so I'll say this: it doesn't matter who they are. If they go against the prophet, what we say, they're demons. Right? That's the most important thing to take away from this. This ain't about some stupid debate and we're gonna go back and forth. We put their face up here. Nah, man, that's stupid, man. That's petty. That's dumb too, because it's like you put somebody's face up here and this be your first time even seeing them. All right. And then some of these people they been out here lying for a long time and they got a big following. Okay. Still don't matter. Don't care who they are. If you're against the prophet, you're a demon. Wicked. And you're against them. So ain't no more playing around and acting like they're cool. Now they're against the prophet. They're telling you we're not citizens when the prophet said that we are. Who do you stand with? With the demons or you with the prophet? Damn. That's really it. That's really all it's about. Hopefully you guys got that message. I don't need to keep showing this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you get it. Only thing I really want to do is just ask that everybody who gets the message, who receives the message, hit like and share. All right. If you're watching this after the live and you wanted to share a question or comment, just comment on the video. If you're watching this on Facebook or on Instagram, go to the YouTube video and comment, leave a comment, hit like and share this YouTube video, help the spread, get this information out. Because I'll tell you one thing, some of the people who's lying on the prophet, who's like demon, wicked, some of these people who are like selling, they're like getting more. They're getting more for hundreds and thousands of dollars. I'm not making this up. You know, when they put out their lies and their wicked deception, YouTube pumps them up on the algorithm. Like they pump up the lies. They might not even share this. I don't even get notifications when I go live, and it's my own videos, my own channel. So I know they're not telling all the subscribers when we, put a new video up when we're live. But the people who like are like wicked and evil, they'll show them on the front page. The people who are telling people stuff that's going to ruin your life, or to just try and get in your pockets, take money from your family, they promote them. All right. And so, yeah, like and share this. Maybe that gives YouTube the message to pump this, promote this a little more. But like and share it so that we're not dependent on them to do their job. And I advise everybody, go to our local temple page. Go to MoorishAmericans.com. Get the Koran. The Quran has the 101 keys in there too. So it's all in one document, and get that, and also get the Moorish literature. Do yourself a favor. Don't allow these devils to keep lying to you. All right? What the prophet created for us was more practical and realistic than these demons are saying. They're all acting like it's magical, mystical paperwork and it's invisible stuff that nobody knows about. It's like, nah, man, we build up our communities. While doing so, we're building up ourselves. We're not doing it as regular black people because regular black people have been caught up and confused. They sold crack to us. Moorish American Muslims wouldn't have went for the crack era epidemic. Wouldn't have got caught up because this Islamism would have protected us from all that. And we also would have a different mindset. We work for ourselves. We build for ourselves. We work together on certain things. It's just like we just have a different mindset in how we do things, right? And so, like, that's practical. That's realistic. That's how we rebuild it. And on that note, though, hopefully that point was made, understood. Share this and help get the information out. Out of here. We have a Sunday school meeting coming up, so get on up out of here, y'all. Everybody like, share this. Peace, love.
Unlock the Keys, a powerful guide to Moorish identity, divine law, and self-mastery. Praised by sheiks and scholars alike, and Moors across the nation are calling it a must-read. Grab your signed copy now at MoorishinAmerica.com for just $23. Or get the paperback on Amazon, also $23. Prefer digital? The Kindle version is only $3.99.
Don't let your history start at slavery. Join with Moorish Science Temple, a lawfully chartered Islamic organization, and proclaim your nationality while helping us uplift fallen humanity. Founded by American prophet Noble Drew Ali and consistently promoted plans for the betterment of humankind. We are located in Columbus, Ohio. Visit our website www.moorishamericans.com and follow us on social media. We hold live meetings on Zoom every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a call at 407-4394 if you would like to join or send donations to help us uplift fallen humanity.
Highest quality handmade fezzes. Crafted fez with the finest wool, complete with tassel and leather sweatband. Wear the national headdress of Moorish Americans with pride and respect. 3XL size fez is a comfortable fit for brothers with dreadlocks. Shipping worldwide. Go to moorishfez.com to order.
Care More is a non-profit organization focused on providing goods and services to families and individuals in our underfunded communities in Central Ohio. We have created an online presence to reach members of our Central Ohio communities, as well as local events and meetings to give away supplies and donations throughout the city all year long. Visit our website to learn more and to send a donation.
Every day, billions of searches are conducted online, therefore it is critical that your company stands out to the small percentage of clients who are essential to your business. Our team of local digital marketing consultants and SEO experts is eager to help your company achieve its goals through a consultative approach, top Google rankings, and collaboration with industry experts. Here at Adept Marketing Solutions, we stand for integrity, dedication, ingenuity, and results. We know how to navigate the ever-changing digital landscape and what brands must do to succeed. Visit our website to see what we can do to help you reach your goals. Fez Caps blends Moorish style with modern streetwear hats. The cutting-edge design features Moorish symbols with a silk tassel on the dome of the cap. More than just a fashion statement, Fez Caps represents something powerful and ancient within you. Go to fezcaps.com to order your Fez Cap now.